it gave people hope. Like there was one woman in our group and she came in with a card that a neighbour had given her for completing the course. And she was so delighted about that. But like that, this was a woman who never attended a course and was looking now, when's the next one starting?
It gives people that confidence to come out and to speak out for their relative, or to speak out for them, self-advocate or whatever.
I think that the one of the really important impacts is meeting people in similar situations, particularly between families of a person who's been newly diagnosed, meeting with families of a person who's maybe 20 years down the road. They can see that there is a way through, they can see that life may not be going the way that they planned it, but these other families have lived a full life with their relative, and their relative has had a full life of his or her own.
I have been educated in my diagnosis, symptoms, etc., and I have learned to nurture myself more and to know my own value. I have confidence that has been given to me from participation in EOLAS. I have had camaraderie with peer support, and the lived experience that's shared among us is a strength that we can use to our benefit and grow and improve our lives.
Before I came into the peer support role, I had tried to avoid my diagnosis. So coming onto the EOLAS programme, I was still feeling a bit heavy. Everybody's going to know now because of the programme, you know, that I have one or the other. But being able to be with a group and just talk about that, you know, in a very relaxed environment, just allowed me to, I suppose sometimes we just have to get out of our own way, and it allowed me to get out of my own way.
But we also see people who make choices now in terms of putting themselves forward to do different groups or to be involved in things. They believe that, you know, recovery and hope are both possible, and that they should choose these other things that may enhance their life.
Empowerment, I can see, brings confidence. I can see first confidence emerging. People can talk, they feel safe, they're in a safe environment to talk about the experience. And each person's experience is unique.
But we've had one particular family member that the changes from the beginning of the EOLAS to now is really phenomenal. She's able to, or appears to be able to, manage the whole situation and the difficulties much, much better.
EOLAS offers people hope, and it just offers the whole prospect of recovery for them, but also for the family.
It's when the family comes together, the solutions start to emerge. And the most important person, obviously, in that is the person who is using the mental health services. But he or she is not the only person in it. So it is so important that, you know, the solution becomes a collaborative one.
I was more able to listen to my sons, more patience. You know, it helped us to be more empathetic, I think, you know, at home.
Having a little more information for me to made a huge difference in how I feel about the whole situation of being mentally ill. And I just, for my own family and friends' sake, since have thought I'll give them as much information as I can about how things are and how I want them to be.
A reduction in isolation is perhaps the single biggest impact I've noticed in the families that I've worked with.
It got me connected to a lot of people who work in the outpatient hospital, the social workers or the nurses and the people who just work there day to day. So it was good to learn who these people are and what their roles are and how they can help me.
EOLAS isn't a support group, of course. It's set up as a psychoeducation program, but I think a lot of the benefits that support groups offer can happen in the context of an EOLAS group also.
Yeah, well, it was a great amount of sharing went on in the group. I didn't know that there would be a sister and a brother and a father. No, I didn't know that there were so many different ways we could be affected, and we just got to know each other and talk freely among ourselves.
For me anyway, it was one of the first times that I actually met people who were going through the same situation that I was going through. Every single experience they had talked about someone in the room had the exact same experience, which kind of makes you feel less isolated, because it can be very isolating.
Gave us great insight. And then we got to know each other. We would meet outside of the group, and it was nice to meet them out and about. Nice to know that we were just out there, but it did help. It helped me to bring it home and to be able to be more at ease with my own sons.
So definitely I think people have found a voice a little bit more, because they're clearer in relation to what is there.
The most important thing is that I have a voice now. I have learned language in order to express my feelings, my emotions and my thoughts, and I can discuss things with the medical profession that I'm involved with. We work closely together now.
In terms of the impact, what we found is that the doors really opened between us and the professionals on the team.
Yeah, I think my engagement with the mental health team is the major difference now. It's enabled me to be more involved in my own recovery. Recently, I've had my medication reduced. I wouldn't have had the confidence to talk to them about reducing it. I would have just taken what I was given and kept very quiet and out of the way.
People do have hope from EOLAS in terms of like talking about things they would never talk about before, like hearing voices, huge thing. And that they could say that out in a room and know that it was alright and know it was okay. It just, I don't know, it just kind of moves people, like physically moves them. They want to do something else.